Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video with a story about a woman who married into a wealthy, snobbish family that looked down on her humble background, only for her to reveal that she's actually a self-made millionaire, turning the tables and exposing their prejudices. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Shared our 40-page prenup to my husband's family after they called me a gold digger for years. My husband no longer talks to his family, except the few who were always nice to me. He grew up in a family that has generational wealth and only cares about prestige. Where did you go to school? What's your job title? How much do you make? How much is your home? This is dinner conversation. They hated me from the start because I do not have their breeding, their actual words, and they were beyond rude to me. I grew up in a working-class family. My dad's a tradesman and my mom's a teacher. We grew up middle class and I had a happy childhood. My husband resents his parents because they sent him off to boarding school and never paid him attention. When he met my family, they welcomed him immediately and treated him like a son. It was the attention he never had, and he would do anything for my family. At our wedding, his cousins made a scene about how poorly dressed my family was, particularly my dad, and made them feel bad because they weren't wearing brand-name clothes. My husband spent part of our wedding consoling my family members about how rude his family was being. Our families had not interacted much before this, but after, he decided on his own that he would never speak to some of his family again. Here's the kicker. While my family is not rich, I am. I started my own software company and sold it for over $5 million in 2010. I took most of that and invested in technology stocks. My net worth is 8 figures, whereas my husband has a trust in the 7 figures. We just don't flash fancy cars, an absurd home, or brand name everything. The recent drama started with his uncle. His aunt stays in contact with us, and she's one of the few who are genuinely nice, like showing up to help me after I had surgery. However, her husband is an open racist and was heard screaming in the background, "Ask your nephew why he's still with that slur gold digger." Opposites really do attract. Let's be real. I know many in his family hate me because I'm not white, but they definitely also hate me because they think I'm poor. His uncle made another comment about how I brainwashed my husband to buy our new apartment. Meanwhile, I purchased it and it's in my name. I've heard it all before from them, but something about how his uncle said it really pissed me off, and I had enough. So I sent an email to several of his family members with our prenup showing the long list of assets under my name. This shut them up good. In fact, I've noticed some of his cousins acting a lot nicer lately. This did not sit well with my family or my husband. My husband doesn't care that they know we have a prenup, but he didn't want them to know how much I have. He's more worried that his family will try and leech off me now. Very ironic. I don't regret my actions, but my husband keeps saying I messed up. Edit. Wanted to clarify a few things. I sent the whole prenup doc, but over half of it was redacted, including much of my husband's info and mine. I didn't even show them half of what I have, and certainly not account numbers. I have cut childhood friends out of my life for trying to pull a fast one, so I'm not going to be tricked by his superficial family members who've already shown me their true colors. My husband knew I was going to do this, but has tried to talk me out of it for my benefit. As he says, I've been talking about this for years. Everyone in his family knew that we had a prenup. They just didn't know it was me that pushed for one. For those looking for an episode 2, I'll keep you posted. But they've been fake nice lately and asking how I'm doing that day, etc. Previously, these people would open by saying things like, "Have you checked your wallet today?" to my husband. My personal belongings don't define me. For one, I still drive a Toyota Corolla 2010. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I care about life experiences and treating people with respect, kindness, and empathy. I believe that's what makes a classy person. Edit Part 2. I feel the need to clarify that my husband and I have tried to tell his family that I'm doing fine for years. Of course, that's the first step we took, but they just didn't believe that a mixed black woman could have wealth. They would flat out say, "Don't let her trick you." Also, as for why he still talks to his family, It's easy to say don't talk to them, but there are a handful that he's still close with who supported and raised him and hates how the rest of the family behaves as much as we do. It's not fair for me to say cut them all off when he has bonds to some, and I also like those same handful as well. Unfortunately, this does give us the occasional exposure to the rest of his family. I can see where your husband's coming from in terms of what he means regarding messing up, but it's not like you did it to humiliate him or your family. And our second story. He's not a thief, and I don't work here. It was back around early 2005. My friend Mike and I were browsing around Circuit City while our girlfriends were at some makeup shop. We're pretty much just killing time after equally long days at our jobs. Mike's checking out video game systems. He didn't have a console, but was planning on getting one right after he gets his tax returns. Long story short, I bought Mike and myself an Xbox, a couple games, and 2 Xbox Live subscriptions so we could play online together. The dude is in disbelief. He can't stop smiling. We get to the front, I pay, and ask Mike to take the systems out to the car since I really need to take a pee. As I'm walking towards the bathroom, the security alarm goes off. Now, shopping there regularly, the alarm always goes off for big-ticket items, games, box set movies, etc., and they don't check you. So Mike stands there like a deer in the headlights, still with a crap-eating grin, and then, very comically and over the top, runs away into the parking lot. It's obvious to us that he's acting like he stole the Xboxes. I'm laughing, and so is a couple cashiers. Loud voice yelling, "Lady, hey, you, stop!" We see Mike run past a lady walking in. She has her phone out and walks right up to me. I'm wearing a black dress shirt from work, sans tie, black pants, and dress shoes. She's all flustered and looks like she's going to give me a piece of her mind for reasons unknown to me initially. So she stops me from heading off to the bathroom, and the following conversation occurs. Lady, this is disgusting. You think theft is funny? Me, lady, you're not even going to try to stop it or call the police? What the hell are they paying you for? She's fumbling with her phone. Me, I don't work here. She starts yelling to everyone. Lady, did anyone get that guy's plate? I'm calling the police. I'm finally piecing it together. She thinks Mike lifted those Xboxes. Me, hey, don't call the police. There's no... Already dialed and beginning to speak. Inside my head, I'm thinking, oh, WTF. Lady, I'd like to report a robbery. Have no idea what she said on the call. I just gave up and my brain went into evacuate bladder now mode. I attempt to head to the bathroom. She grabs my arm. Lady, still rambling into the phone, I have a witness right here with me. Pushes phone into my face. Lady, they want to know your address here. My bladder's about ready to rupture. I put my index finger up as if to say 1 second and pull out the receipt in the bag I'm holding that has the video games and XB Live subs. Me, see this receipt? Those are consoles I paid for. That dude's my friend. He did not steal crap. You called the police for no reason, and I don't work here. I look over to the nearest cashier and then back at the lady. Me, and for the love of God, will you please let me go take a pee? Lady starts talking to my back while I beeline it to the bathroom while trying not to start leaking. Lady, well, you shouldn't be horsing around with your friends while working. Our cashier signals to the lady. Cashier, ma'am, he doesn't work here. He's just a customer. I didn't hear the rest of the conversation or see the lady when I came out. I just walked straight to the exit, and as I'm walking through, the effing alarm goes off. I turn back to the row of cashiers. Me, runs away towards car, mimicking Mike's run. I'd have accepted the phone and tell the police there's no theft. I'll witness only the lady's slander. And our last story. Neighbor Karen turning our electricity off. A few months after we moved into our flat, we started getting complaints from our upstairs neighbor, a classic Karen. She was claiming there was a loud, vibrating noise keeping her up at night, but my boyfriend and I were confused since we were always asleep when she claimed the noise happened. We never heard a thing. Despite that, the complaints kept coming in every few weeks, and each time we repeated that we didn't know what she was talking about. Then things escalated. Karen started flipping off our electricity switches, which are located in a communal cupboard, whenever she heard the mystery noise. One day, I confronted her about it, and she admitted to cutting our power, something she'd apparently done to the previous tenants too. I was polite about it, inviting her in to show her we had nothing in our flat that could be making such a noise, and even apologized for not being able to help. I suggested she contact the property management company to investigate, and she seemed satisfied for a while. But of course it didn't last. A few weeks ago, she started turning our electricity off again, and this time she didn't even try to talk to us about it. Here's the kicker. My boyfriend's away traveling, and I've started working night shifts, meaning no one is home when she's hearing this so-called noise. Last week, I came home after being away for a few days to find the flat with no power and a freezer full of defrosted food. At this point, I began keeping track of every time she flipped our electricity off. Turns out she'd cut the power 11 times this month alone that I'm aware of. I rely on a constant electricity supply to charge my hearing aids and other devices I need for work. If they aren't charged, I can't function properly, which is a big deal. I finally decided enough was enough and called 101 to report it. It turns out that tampering with someone else's electricity can qualify as criminal damage. Even if the damage isn't permanent, the temporary loss of use can still count. My hearing aids alone justify police intervention, but there are plenty of other reasons this is a big deal. The contents of my fridge and freezer are a loss, and consuming improperly stored food could have made me sick. Interrupting cycles on washing machines and tumble dryers left me with no clean clothes when I needed them. We rely on electricity for heating and hot water, and without power, I was unable to wash or keep the place warm. Even my alarm clock is at risk. If it fails to go off, I could miss work or other important appointments. Not to mention, cutting off power can cause damage to electrical devices like computers when they're suddenly powered down. So I did more than just report her to the police. I made a detailed list of all the losses and expenses I incurred because of her constant tampering, and I sent her a letter before action demanding compensation. Karen's going to have to pay for all the defrosted food, the inconvenience, and the potential damage she's caused by messing with our electricity. Hopefully, with the police involved and legal action on the horizon, this will finally stop. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.